Bridging the gap, Mohammed said, look.
There was an old traveler. He traveled all his life. And on one of his journey, as he was walking towards his destination, he came across a river. A river with very fast tide, with darkness coming, a river that would be very, very difficult to cross. But for him, it was not a problem. He was not worried about it, because he knew how he can get across this river and get to his destination. So as the morning came, he swam across the river and he went to the other side. But then he stopped. He turned back and he decided to build a bridge over that river. And as he was doing and spending all that effort on that, a fellow traveler asked him, "You already crossed that bridge, that river. You will never pass this road again. Why are you creating a bridge?" And he said, "I know how to cross a river because I have lived and traveled a lot. But the younger and newer traveler may cross this road and may not know, and I am creating this bridge for them to get to the same destination." It was on purpose. You cannot count that one. Just like Harish mentioned, I like to remind everyone that I am the president of the club. And today is actually my last opportunity to do so, because today is my last meeting as our president. I wouldn't be here next week. And after that, I wouldn't be the president. So last opportunity. I'm going to brag a lot about that during this speech, so get ready for that. But this is also an opportunity for me to go back and look back on those 6 months and say a couple of things that I think are important to share with our members, that I feel are important. So I picked up 3 moments. One, which made me proud. 2, the second one, which I regret. And the third one, which was a pleasantly surprising moment or thing to happen. The first one, the thing that made me so proud. I remember there was a meeting in August. I think it was the first meeting in August. Kasia Bilinska was our Toastmaster. It went absolutely great, the whole meeting. And there was a guest. He was a Toastmaster from Germany. And he wrote to us before that he would visit our meeting. So I really wanted to talk to him after the meeting to get some feedback on how he thinks we are doing. But as we finished our meeting, we went to the museum. It was summer, so we all were sitting outside. We were all talking to each other. But I couldn't find a moment to talk to that guy. Why? Because Marcin wanted to talk with me about PR. Shimon wanted to talk to me about storytelling. Shishta wanted to talk to me about this comedy thing. And Kasia wanted to talk to me because she was organizing a debate in a few days for which she had some instructions for me. And the whole hour passed and I did not get a moment to talk to that guy. Only when we were coming down from that museum, when they kicked us out at 10 p.m., did I finally get to talk to him. And he told amazing meeting. But what I am really proud of is actually those things, those meetings. It was exhausting for me. I remember after that integration, I was so exhausted. I cannot tell you. I didn't eat anything. And after 3-4 hours of constantly talking with other people, I just wanted to go home and rest. But all that effort actually paid off when we organized so many special events, which was actually part of the vision that I had when I started this term, and I mentioned in my election speech, to provide opportunities for our members to do something more than that we do in our meetings, to go beyond what we are already doing. And I checked, 22 of our members were involved in all those events in one way or another. And I got a lot of positive as well as some things to improve, a lot of feedback through those events as well. But overall, I think that is something to be proud of, not just for me, but for our whole club. Now the second thing, the thing that I regret. This meeting happened about maybe 1 month ago. It was a speakathon, not the most pleasant of meetings, 8 speakers constantly talking or 8 evaluations. On top of that, you add if few of the speakers have presentations that need to be connected and everything, and this was the same moment. So there was a speaker, he was supposed to come on stage, and I was connecting the wire for him. And as I was doing it, I noticed the speaker went out of the room. I thought, why did he leave? This is about to start. We are already short on time on this meeting. So I ran after him and he said, I need to go to the toilet. I need to pee. I said, why now? You're just about to go on stage. You didn't know that you're the third speaker. Why now? But what I regret and what this episode represents is a bit of decline in our professionalism when it comes to running our meetings. And this was another thing that was exactly in my speech that I gave for when I ran for president, and also in the vision that I shared in the beginning, that we need to provide not only a friendly and supportive atmosphere here, but we need to be professional so that our members can grow. But I did notice, and not only me, many members came to me and told me, and we discussed this a lot in our board, how to rectify this, the evaluations, how to make them more effective, how we can stop the disturbances when the speaker is speaking, how we can stop the unnecessary heckling when it's not asked for, and so on. A lot of things that go exactly about the environment that we produce in our meetings. And we are proud of what we have here, so we want to keep it like that. We don't want it to go down. And I feel that it went a bit down. And the reason may be different. There are many, many reasons. And there are many efforts in the last 1 or 2 months that we as a club officer did try, and some of them are actually working, and even I see it today. So even though I regret, but I take the responsibility as the leader of the club that it happened on my watch. And I hope that in future we will rectify the situation as much as possible, and I would be willing to help as much as I can. Now the thing that made me pleasantly surprised. This is about this guy. When I saw him, when I met him in the very beginning, he came to our meeting. He was a very shy guy, but actually we started to talk because, on the very first meeting he was, yeah. It's very not believable, yes. But then he knew me already because one of his members from the old club told me to contact Zan when he go to WrocLove speaker. So he contacted me and we talked and so on. And then he found a house and he said, Zan, I have a housewarming party, come to that. I said, okay. And he didn't know anyone else probably in the club at that time, so I was probably the only one, and I don't remember. As it turns out, I was the only one there who was from Toastmasters. There were a lot of people from his studies, all fully drunk when I got there, including Louis, of course. I stayed, I don't know, maybe I stayed 1 hour. That's when I met actually Sergio. He was the only sensible guy in the whole party that I could talk on that day, and I still remember that conversation. But this is the impression we have of Louis. Louis likes to organize parties, didn't he? Didn't he organize a lot of parties for us in the last 6 months when he was VP membership? So when 6 months ago I became the president, and after that there were elections for the other officers, I was very happy because the team was absolutely great. I knew that this team can do a lot of things, and especially the one that I envisioned that we can do together. And I would really like to hear mentioned that a couple of people went way beyond what was expected, and Miho Shimacha is one of them. The way he conducted whole term when it comes to treasury, but not only him, Martin Graj did an absolutely amazing job. But there was Louis, and I did not expect, I have to be honest, I expected Louis, the party guy, will not manage VP membership when it comes to actually managing the guests. But guess what, guys? I was so surprised. He not only took email and addresses of each and every guest since July that came even till today. He sent all of them an email, which is very important to follow up with them. And he did all of that, and I was suspicious, so he remembers. I used to check if he sent. Now I haven't checked in 2 months, and I know that he sent. And that was such a pleasant surprise for me, and that it gives me a lesson: never judge a book by its cover, because Louis is much more than just the parties. He is a leader, and he acts like a leader. Now, during all this time, I asked for a lot of advice from some members that I felt who could give me advice. One of them is Marek Golonowski. Not only because I think that he is very good and he can give me proper advice, but also because he works in Nokia, so it's very easy to chat to him all day. And he didn't agree with a lot of things I did. He told me sometimes straightforward, Zan, what you're doing is wrong, don't do it. And since I respect him, I really considered those advices, and a lot from other people as well, when I felt that there is some resistance. And I decided to ignore that resistance and continue on my path. And the reason was that I initially envisioned that I will only be for 6 months. I will not go for a second term. So whatever I want to do, whatever I think we can do together, I need to do it in these 6 months. I don't have the energy to go forward. And that's what I will do. And only when I reach the end of my term, I will reflect back and see what worked and what didn't work. That's the only way I feel we can learn something. For us, for the club. So I started that reflection, especially when it came to this speech. And this is where the story I told in the beginning comes from. Because good leaders, they have a vision. But the great leaders are those who not only have a vision, but also show how you can follow that vision. You have your current reality and you envision where you could be. But how to bridge that gap between your current reality and the vision that you want to achieve for everyone involved. That is bridging the gap. That is one of the most important and critical jobs of a leader. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not sure how I did it. I'm not sure what I tried to do and what as a board we tried to do in the 6 months will continue or no. Was it something that was the vision that I had was visible and acceptable to everyone in the club, or understandable, more like understandable to everyone in the club? I have no idea. I think I will get to know this in the coming months when I will not be actively involved as a president, but just like an ordinary member. With that, thank you for this wonderful 6 months. And I'm not going anywhere. I will still be giving a lot of speeches, I hope. So see you soon.
Thank you very much. Then guys, please